If you logged on to Black Ops 4 today on either PlayStation 4 or Xbox One, you'll notice there's probably about an 11 gigabyte update to the game itself. And of course, as always, PC is to follow, air quote, shortly thereafter, though we don't have any ET on when that may be. But with this, we ended up getting quite a bit of stuff to talk about, some more savory than others. So today we're going to break down everything that changed with today's 1.16 update to Black Ops 4. So that said, let's jump right into it. The biggest catalyst here for this is, of course, the Zombies DLC, in which we ended up getting Ancient Evil on PlayStation 4 for Black Ops pass holders, in which you end up having that map along with a ton of other things, new perks, elixirs, talismans, all that kind of stuff with it. So before we jump into everything else that's visibly noticeable here within the game, the biggest thing again is that of the new map, which you end up getting the new elixirs of Suit Up, Dividend Yield, Talking About Regeneration, Bullet Boost, and Quacknarok. The new talismans include Glowing Phylactery as well as Battered Dragon Scale. If you're a fan of zombies, there's going to be a ton of people breaking it down, doing all sorts of different guides and all from the zombies community. I don't really want to keep you guys too much here on this because we've got so much stuff to talk about, but check that out if you're interested. If you like zombies, of course, it's a new update for that as well. When you first log into Black Ops 4 after you get past that boot sequence, you'll notice there's a new main menu, and we'll break down everything here accordingly, but you end up seeing the showcases of Bare Bones, League Play, Hardcore Blackout, and again, the tile for Ancient Evil for PlayStation 4 users. Now, jumping over to the MP side here, starting sequentially, we'll end up seeing a lot in terms of the changes for MP. First things first, Bare Bones was added into MP. That's something that you now have the functionality to play TDM and Domination with a completely bare playing style. You're going to end up having 6v6 with no specialist weapons, no special equipment, no gear, no operator mods, none of that. Equipment is now your stuff like your concussions, your trophy systems, your combat axes, things like that, but it's single use with no cooldowns. Equipment is fully charged on respawn, but that's it. Once you use it, you're done. So in that sense, from personal experience, concussions are absolutely abundant within this, so make sure you have TAC Mask or something on like that, but this is available for core as well as hardcore game modes there. So if you want to play in hardcore or core, it doesn't matter, you'll still be able to play TDM or Domination in a very raw and bare bones approach. It feels tremendously different, I'll say that right up front. You won't get streaks as fast, obviously, because you don't have the specialist bonuses and things like that, especially if you're a Crash main. You're not going to be able to play as aggressive because of the cooldown between when you can regen your health, and unlike previous Call of Duty games, it doesn't naturally regen over that 5 seconds before it is made available to heal again. So that's something to keep in mind and to kind of take into your consideration when engaging with players, but it's a lot of fun. It is definitely sweaty right now though, so I'd recommend if you have a party trying to play with them, but if not, best of luck. Ricochet was also added into hardcore modes to try and decrease the amount of initial friendly fire, so for the first 15 seconds or so of a match or round, that's something where it will then bounce off the player and then hit the person shooting, whereas it's just a normal team kill. There's been XP increases granted for a various number of things, so for score streak kills, killing the K9 unit, ice pick shutdowns with 0, destroying an RCXD, killing a strike team unit, and then also the forward position medals have all had increased bonuses for their XP yields as well. Now, in terms of the score streak kills, just to reiterate, it's not score in game, it's the back end stuff that you earn at the end of the match for each individual kill with that. So those were all increased to 100 XP, save for the strike team unit kills and also the forward position medals. Those were changed to 250 XP. Kill Confirmed also had a slight change in which now collecting an enemy dog tag rewards you for 100 score, which is a little increase than it was before. Rounding out the MP side is actually a bunch of weapon tuning. This is live for PS4 and Xbox One and will be live across the board for PC as well whenever that update finally comes out. But breezing through this, the Cordite ended up having an increased sprint outspeed as well as extended the 5-foot shot range from 2.5 meters to 4 meters for console only. With the mention of console only, it seems like there's going to be a different change for that specific portion come the PC update. As for the Damon 3 XP, that's where we see an extended 6-shot range from 8 meters to 11.5 meters, so the range got buffed on the Damon as well. The MX9 had an increased ADS outspeed as well as increased sprint outspeed, which if it was a nerf, it would have been an increase to the time. This makes the MX9 a little bit more viable in some situations. The Spitfire extended the 6-shot range from 7 meters to 7.5 meters on console only. The SOG 9mm increased the sprint outspeed. The Switchblade X9 increased the magazine size from 26 to 30 now by default, and players now spawn with 3 extra magazines instead of just 2. As for the assault rifles, the KN-57 ended up getting an extended 4-shot range from 16 meters to 17 meters and extended the 5-shot range from 46 meters to 57 meters. So a definite buff to the range there with those ones. The tactical rifle of the ABR-223 had an increased ADS in speed, while also having an increase of the ammo from 30 to 36 by default, and extended the 4-shot range from 32 meters to 38 meters. The sniper rifles of the Paladin HB50 had an increased mag size from 5 to 6, that one extra bullet, and also it reduced the reload speed, so a little bit of a trade-off there, and the SDM just had a simple increase to the fire rate. The pistols of the RK7 Garrison had an increase to the damage. It now takes one less bullet to kill at all ranges. The Mozu had an extended 3-shot range from 19 meters to 24 meters. Its 4-shot range increased from 25 to 32, and the 5-shot from 32 to 38, with the Strife also coming in and rounding out the rest of the changes with the increase to the fire rate. Before we jump over into Blackout, I want to mention something very briefly, and I don't want to stick on it all that much because it genuinely makes me mad. But kind of bridging the gap between not only MP and Blackout is that location of the black market, to which we didn't get a contraband stream of any sorts. There's nothing that is grindable, but what we did get is another triple play, which is even steeper price than that of the one that we had back around Christmas or the holidays, in which it offers the Homewrecker or Demo Hammer melee weapon. It offers a weapon crate, 10 reserves, and 10 tiers for the full sarcasm, great low price of 2,800 COD points. Nearly half the price of the base game for one melee weapon and a bunch of garbage. The only slight redeeming factor, but I still do not see it justifiable for that price of what ultimately is nothing worthwhile, is that whenever you enter the black market for the first time, logging in on PlayStation 4, this will then follow on Xbox One and PC next week, you are granted one free weapon crate. This will allow you to end up getting one guaranteed Mark II weapon. I don't think that is dupe protected though, by the way, and 2 other items as well. Now for mine, I ended up getting the Damon Mark II weapon that we saw introduced at the very beginning of the season. There are a couple of other new ones. There is the Rampart Mark II weapon, there's the Koshka Mark II weapon, as well as the Cordite that were added in, along with a brand new uniform for Crash, but that's really it. The shop got a face paint bundle as well as the Vampire Hunter Vapor variant coming back as well, so forget about the idea of having cool content granted to players and being worth playing the game for it to organically unlock it. You have a bunch of stuff that could have made for a great mini stream, but it's all locked behind reserves. I just don't know how they're continuously out of touch like this every single update. But again, my bias and opinion out of the way, we might touch on this in its own video tomorrow because it's just frustrating to see the very least. And I mean the very least. But my job with this is to give you the raw information so you can make your own informed decisions. So let's move over into Blackout. First thing you may notice, and actually isn't even on the patch notes, is that there's a new animation for loading into a game. It actually showcases various flybys of the Blackout map itself rather than just that Black Ops 4 variation of the Nova 6 icon. So that's interesting that it was changed out there, and I actually really like it, but it's a smaller change here that, again, you might just notice in passing and it doesn't really affect anything. There are a few weapon tuning adjustments here in which it wasn't a direct copy and paste for all of the weapons from the MP side, but the Cordite, the MX9, the SOG 9mm, the Switchblade X9, the SDM, and the RK7 Garrison, as well as the Strife, all had their changes from MP brought over into Blackout as well. On a map end and a world environment change, there is no longer as an intense glare from that setting sun when looking towards it in the Blackout map. It's been toned down ever so slightly. Next up, Zero's EMP disruptor can now be found within Blackout, so that'll then stall out some car engines and things like that. Vehicles added the co-pilot support for the Little Bird as well as the cargo truck, and made improvements to the muscle car with collisions where players could survive some direct impact with that. So kind of buffing the muscle cars, but there were definitely instances where I was sure as dead and I somehow survived by being directly run over by somebody with a muscle car in some games I've had before, so I can understand that one a little bit. Additionally, in stashes now, the new melee weapon of the Homewrecker, which you'd previously have to spend $28 for an MP, it's available in the contraband stashes as well, so if you pick it up there, you might be able to have your first little run-in with it, but it's Blackout, so even just like MP not being very viable, definitely not going to be great unless you're in a very close quarter situation. And one of the final things, and also a big one with Blackout, is that it escalated the collapse damage added to counter the out-healing tactic that people would just sit in the zone with of the final circle. Previously, you could literally sit out there pretty much all game and just heal if you had the right loadout with it. If you had enough med kits, bandages, as well as trauma kits, plus your things like Outlander and then Consumer, you could stay out there pretty much all game and not fight anybody, but still theoretically end up with a win. Not anymore with this though, that's something that has been changed out with this update. And again, one thing linking MP, Blackout, and then what we'll talk about just to round everything off with League play is that reactive camos are now available to be accessed on any weapon, regardless of if it is gold or not. Previously, there was that stipulation that you had to get a weapon gold before you could transfer any single reactive camo onto that weapon. That's no longer the case. You can then end up putting reactives on anything, even if it's not gold. If you have gold, diamond, dark matter, or none of those, doesn't matter. You can still use your favorite reactive camos on whatever weapon you want. And the final thing we'll talk about in terms of Black Ops 4's update 1.16 is the new addition of ricochet friendly fire and new ranks within League play. League play got a little bit more in terms of what you can grind out of ranks 21 to 30, as well as the skill divisions still to come and another update coming very soon. So for those grinding out the max ranks, you now have a little bit further to go. And then in terms of ricochet friendly fire, again, as with MP, it adds that first 15 seconds of a match or round where players can no longer immediately grief. It will backfire on them. I don't know how well this is going to work out because there's still that timer of just 15 seconds. If a griefer really wants to grief, they can wait 16 seconds. But ultimately within MP, Blackout, Zombies, as well as League play, there was a decent amount of fundamental changes here in the way that the core gameplay works. Some things that, again, just like we mentioned, I'm not too happy with the extracurricular stuff was also added in, but no things like Alcatraz, no things like a mini stream, nothing of the sorts. So I don't know when that stuff's going to come, if at all, because we are still missing that Mini 14 or the Vendetta weapon. It's in Zombies, but not within MP or anything like that. But regardless, that's going to wrap up this video on everything that changed here with today's update. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Are you guys pleased, dissatisfied, whatever it may be with this update? Let me know your thoughts, but hopefully enjoy the video. If you did, make sure you drop a like down below. And of course, if you're new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Black Ops 4, MP, Blackout, Zombies. We got you covered the best of updates, news, information, tips, tricks, all that good stuff. So if any of that interests you, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single thing. If you guys also want to follow me over on Twitter and Instagram, there's the best places to get connected outside of YouTube. Practically live on both those. If you guys want to strike up a conversation, ask me a question, whatever it may be, that link is down there in the description below. So let's end out the way. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Mine is Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.